sobrang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. At sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa
Spent 4 weeks basically demanding that Parliament be recalled and that we legislate straight away. And we do the work, we put the legislation.
Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat na manood sa mga
The Prime Minister is crying. The world is in shock by the Eala Australian Open news. What's happening below beneath? Really, are you seeing this? Because I don't believe the Australian Open has ever gotten off to such a spectacular start. The Rod Laver Arena saw more than simply a tennis match a few minutes ago. The entire globe is talking about the full-blown emotional meltdown that occurred there. In front of thousands of shocked onlookers, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, the head of state, was clearly crying. This is not something you see every day. The remarks of a 20-year-old tennis prodigy rarely cause world leaders to lose their composure. However, it is precisely what took place. Witnesses described the direct, powerful, and extremely sad message from the Philippines' own Alexandria as striking an immensely emotional moment for the Albanese sitting courtside. The details of the words are profound. The stadium plunged into an oppressive quiet for a little while. A pin drop could be heard. It was the kind of strain that makes the air feel heavy and nearly impossible to breathe. Pandemonium followed. The audience did more than simply applaud. They exploded. Everyone started crying as a wave of thundering applause seemed to travel through the stands, relieving the strain. Everyone's features were engraved with emotions. It was unprocessed and it didn't follow script. Additionally, it paved the way for what is expected to be Alexandria Eala's most spectacular Australian debut in her brief career. But people, you are completely mistaken if you believe that the drama ends when the Prime Minister sobs. That was only the introduction because what the Australian Open officials just gave Alexander might be the source of the actual nightmare and tears. Eala on a platter of silver. We must discuss the draw from hell. We must discuss the unachievable path that lies ahead. We also need to discuss the devastating decision that could force Eala to choose between Grand Slam glory and the historic return she has been longing for. Greetings from Champions Tennis again. Click the like button immediately if you enjoy the drama, passion, and brutal reality of the tennis world. Now, let's get started. For a moment, let's set aside our feelings and examine Alexandria's harsh, icy reality. She is now in Melbourne. She is now ranked 49th in the world, a career high. She recently advanced to the Auckland semi-finals. She appears to be dangerous, but when this draw was announced, the tennis gods were not grinning. They were chuckling. What sources are referring to as a nightmarish draw has been given to Eala. This tournament cannot be eased into. There isn't a warm-up game. Her very first Australian Open main tournament match. She will make her stage debut against America's Alicia Parks, one of the world's most unpredictable and dangerous unseeded players. Now, don't be fooled by the world number 100 ranking. Alicia Parks is like dynamite on wheels. The record for the quickest serve in U.S. Open history is shared by this woman. 129 miles per hour. It's not a serve. It's a weapon. When Parks is playing, she smacks the ball at a speed that makes it impossible for you to hold the racket. She defeated Caroline Garcia on indoor hard courts to win a WTA title. She had previously attended the third round in Melbourne. She is familiar with these courts. Eala believes that this clash of styles has the potential to soon become ugly. It depends on the grit, the tactical creation of points, and that lefty spin. Parks, she depends on unadulterated power. Eala wins if she misses a ball. Eala will return the ace if she sits up. This is a risky trap match. Many commentators are speculating that this is the first round's upset notice. They claim that if Eala displays even a trace of nervousness, Parks has the strength to blow the 20-year-old off the court. Let's face it, nerves will be present. This is her first performance. In the stands, the Prime Minister is sobbing. The entire globe is observing. Can Eala withstand the pressure of an American power hitter who has nothing to lose? Every second, the pressure increases. And every tennis commentator, from Manila to Melbourne, is analyzing every eventuality that could arise from this match. It is even being referred to by some as the women's draw's riskiest first-round clash. People are treating this conflict with such seriousness. Alright, let's pretend to be optimistic. Assume that Eala has the game of her life. Assume she crushes her down, neutralizes the Park serve, and advances to the next round. Does it become simpler? No, the difficulty increases dramatically. The Czech magician Karolina Machova, who advanced to the Roland Garros final in 2023, is waiting in the wings for a potential matchup in the second round. When healthy, Machova is regarded as one of the most gifted players on the circuit. She has been placed as high as 8th in the world. She uses the ball to play chess rather than just hit it. She is the best at disrupting rhythm with slices, drop shots, and net rushes. Machova is a scalpel if Parks is a sledgehammer. To survive that, A would need to entirely rethink her strategy in less than 48 hours. And by some miracle, she manages to go past Machova, who is probably waiting in the more difficult rounds. Coco Gauff, an American superstar, was her previous doubles partner. Can you envision the plot? Gauff versus A at Rod Laver Arena. Friends became competitors. Coco's exceptional athleticism contrasts with her lefty hardness. However, Coco is more than simply a friend. She has won a Grand Slam. She is a wall. Every point, she forces you to whack 4, 5, or 6 more balls. Additionally, Oriana Sabalenka, the defending champion and the tiger herself, struck the ball with such force that it sounded like a gunshot during the same half of the draw. People, this isn't a draw. It's a difficult task. Sharks are waiting for a drop of blood in a row. Eala may be prevented from making a deep run by 3 Grand Slam winners. Welcome to the big leagues, kid, the Australian Open official said, glancing at the 20-year-old Filipina. I wish you luck. Albanese is renowned for being a sensitive and compassionate leader who puts his emotions on his sleeve. However, this was an exceptionally unvarnished expression of emotion, even for him. Millions of people have watched the video of the incident on social media. Every shot is being dissected, lips are being read, and context is being sought after. Some admirers are applauding her for speaking truth to power through her platform. Some are wondering if it was proper for such a private event to take place in such a public place. However, one thing cannot be disputed. Alexandra Eala is more than just a tennis player. She is now regarded as a cultural icon. She now has a voice, and that voice will be heard whether she succeeds or fails in Melbourne. The Philippine government has already issued a statement commending Eala for her poise and poise. Regardless of the outcome in Australia, Filipino President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. referred to her as a national treasure and expressed his hope that she would make the country proud. The Philippine Tennis Federation concurred, stressing that Eala has already accomplished a great deal and that the country will always support her. This type of support has the power to either uplift or depress a player. It appears to be uplifting Eala. She has accepted her status as a national symbol. She has shown that she is not playing for herself and has accepted the burden. She is performing for all Filipinos who have ever aspired to greatness. However, we must not overlook the schedule issue, the elephant in the room, and the hard decision. The Philippine Women's Open would have to continue without its biggest star if Eala manages to overcome the odds and go far in Melbourne. Naturally, tournament organizers have backup plans. Other players will be promoted by them. They will highlight the event's historic significance, but everyone is aware that it won't be the same. Eala has been the focal point of the entire marketing effort. The posters feature her. The adverts feature her. Sponsors signed on because of her. The competition loses its focal point without her. And that is unfair to the organizers who put in a lot of effort to make this event a reality. The other players deserve their time in the spotlight, thus it's unfair to them. Additionally, it is unfair to the fans who purchase tickets especially to see Eala perform. The WTA should have taken more action to prevent this schedule issue, according to some. Why not postpone the Philippine Women's Open by 1 week? Why not work with the Australian Open to prevent players from being put in these unfeasible circumstances? In actuality, the tennis schedule is a complete jumble. It has always been chaotic. Players are always torn between competing tournaments, sponsor commitments, and ranking demands. Eala is simply the most recent victim of the faulty system. However, blaming others won't make the issue go away. All we can do at this point is observe and wait. Will you leave early and return to Manila? Or will she shock everyone by pushing herself into the second week at the expense of her return home? It will be emotional in any case. We will be glued to our TVs in either case, and it will be dramatic. The betting markets have been extremely active. Eala's chances of defeating Parks were initially fairly equal. However, the odds have significantly changed in Parks' favor as more people become aware of the power disparity. As much as 3:1 against Eala winning in straight sets is being offered by certain bookmakers. However, the Filipina is beginning to receive smart money.
Why?
Since she has visited this place previously. Not on this particular stage, but under pressure. She was the U.S. Open Girls Champion. She participated in the Fed Cup. She has overcome match point deficits to win. She has the mindset of a champion, and champions find a way. They do it every time. Eala and Parks are so different from one another. Parks is all strength, all violence, or nothing at all. She is the type of player who can double fault 5 times in a game after hitting 10 consecutive wins. She has a streak. She is erratic. Additionally, such unpredictability may be a double-edged sword on a major stage like the Australian Open. Eala might be in major trouble if Parks comes out shooting and everything is going well. However, Eala has the opportunity to profit if Parks is tense, if her nerves get the better of her, or if she begins to miss those crucial first serves. Parks will be pulled into protracted rallies by her. She'll take the initiative. She'll make her hit the extra ball, and finally Parks may give in. That is the strategy. That's the only way to win. Eala is unable to attempt to out-hit Parks. She must outsmart her. She must outgrind her. She needs to be more patient, tougher, and smarter. The crowd factor is another. There is a sizable Filipino community in Melbourne. There will be supporters for A. Her name will be sung. That energy will be felt by her, and that might be crucial. Tennis is frequently characterized as an individual sport, but anyone who has played in front of a partisan audience will attest to the fact that this isn't totally accurate. When you're feeling low, the fans' energy might lift you up. When your legs are exhausted, it can provide you with an additional adrenaline rush. Your opponent may become intimidated by it. Rod Laver Arena will feel more like Manila than Melbourne if the Filipino supporters turn out in large numbers, as all signs point to. Eala has a psychological advantage as a result, which is not reflected in the data. What does this mean for us now? After an enigmatic emotional interaction, the Prime Minister is wiping tears from his eyes. A teenage celebrity is up against what appears to be a script for a horror film. The outcome of our historic return depends solely on Melbourne's failure. It's not simply tennis here. Theater is what this is. You can't write a drama like this. Will Alicia Parks' 129 miles per hour serves knock Eala off the court? Will Eala shock everyone by channeling the emotion of that moment with Anthony Albanese? Or will she leave early, board the plane for Manila, and raise a trophy in front of her fellow citizens? Everything will be decided in the following 48 hours. Even though the Australian Open has just started, there are already a ton of storylines. There's no doubt that you don't want to miss a second of this. You can feel the stress. Alexandra Eala is in the middle of the storm, and the stakes are quite high. She is the hurricane's eye. She is the center of everything. Whether she succeeds or fails, her voyage will go down in history. This is the essence of sports. We monitor for this reason. This is the reason we are concerned. Because we're not simply watching sporting events during these times. We are seeing the most unadulterated kind of human drama. What are your thoughts? Is Eala being treated unfairly in this draw? Or is this the test she must pass in order to win? What are your thoughts on this startling incident involving the Prime Minister? Was it too much, or was it the unadulterated feeling that sports require? Tell me in the comments section below. I read each and every one of them. Please hit the like button, send this video to your tennis friends, and subscribe to Champions Tennis if you liked this in-depth look at the Australian Open. Every serve, every volley, and every tier of this competition will be covered. Keep your eyes on the ball and your passion alive till the next time. Astonishment. Thrilled. Overachieving is a thing. As they say, dream big. Well, I believe that we had the hello, everyone. This is Carolina. Being a semi-finalist once more in New York makes me very happy and appreciative, and I look forward to